Hi everyone, it's Harvey here with Harbinger Games, and in today's video on Dota Underlords, we're going to be focusing in on a Dota Underlords gameplay walkthrough for new and beginning players. You're going to get to watch me play a solo bot game with lots of commentary, start to finish. I know! What could be more exciting? Without further ado, let's get right into the video. Alright, to start up that first game, we're going to go ahead and we're going to click on the play button, and then we're going to choose a solo game to learn the game. From then I'm going to pick one of the 4 hardness levels. If you're first starting to play, recommend you definitely take easy or medium. These are, just as they say, challenging and hardcore. When you're going to start your game, the very first game you should probably play is check this little box down here that is play at your own pace. And what that does is it turns off the game's timer, so you have all the time in the world to think about your actions. So we're going to do that for the sake of this tutorial, so I can spend a lot of time talking about things that I wouldn't normally be able to because of the pace of the game. So I'm going to go ahead and select medium. And we're going to see we're lined up. There's a total of 8 players in each match, one of them being you, so you'll have 7 different opponents throughout the game. The first thing I want to do is a quick screen refresher. Right hand side are our tabs that would normally show us. This tab up here would normally show us our alliances, both complete and incomplete. This second tab gives us battle statistics on many facets of the game. You can toggle between yourself and the enemy, and when we've got some information there, we'll review them. The last tab over here will let us look at our current items, both hero-based and global. In the lower right, I can see my gold total of 1. This icon down here is what opens and closes the store. So if I hit the X, you'll notice at the top the store closed. If I hit the store reopens. I'm also going to use the hotkey, which is the space bar that quickly opens and closes that. Definitely recommend you get in the habit of using the hotkeys. This game is so fast-paced that you're not going to want to spend time moving your mouse around. You're going to want to be using the hotkeys. Trust me. I'm going to go ahead and close that store, and you'll notice right at the top of the screen, for looking at the board, it tells me some information right here that I'm down a hero. It says this icon, and the O0 says, listen, you are down a hero. You need to put a hero on your board, or you can. You're not forced to, but it lets you know that you're down. Just a refresher for everybody too here, the board is this 4x8 grid where you are going to place your heroes to start the fight. This is pretty much the only thing you do in auto chess when it comes to the combat, is control the placement, the initial placement of where your heroes are, and the rest is automatically fought out for you. I'm going to reopen the store to show you that this information is also located down here in the lower left. It will let you know that you're down a hero. For the purpose of this, for the tutorial, there's also an extra icon down here that lets me advance the rounds. Looking up into the top right, we'll see that normally this would start at 25 and start counting down because it was preparing for the round, and that's where I would have to do all my actions are. But because this is a tutorial, and I've turned it off in rather a solo bot game, we don't have to worry about that, so we have lots of time to talk about it. So, bringing up to the store, I'm going to see the first 5 heroes that I can purchase for the game, and you'll notice they're all tier 1 heroes. But that's because we only have 1 gold, and the game is set that the very first round that you're only going to have tier 1 units, so 100% chance. You can't go wrong with choosing any character for basically your first 2 or 3 fights. After you get your first hero on the board, you're going to want to start trying to get synergies that lines up, and you're basically going to want to choose one of 3 types, right? A damage hero, a tanking hero, a hero that can take a punch and absorb damage for your team while your damage doers do damage. So for here, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take the Drow Ranger. She's a ranged unit, and all that I did to purchase her was just click on her. You'll notice the rest of the heroes became subdued. They grayed out, and that's because I'm down here to 0 gold, so I can't purchase anything else. If there were units here at any time that I wanted to try to purchase on a later round, because remember, at the beginning of each round, you're going to be provided with a random 5 heroes. I can lock the store by clicking the lock icon, and it locks that up. That means I lose that free reroll, but if there was characters here that I 100% wanted to purchase the next round, that's a great way to do it. So I'm going to unlock that. I'm going to also close the store. And we'll notice our Drow is down here, and she is on the bench. Remember, you can have up to 8 heroes on your bench. Now, to put her out of the bench to the board, I'm just going to drag and drop her. And you'll notice that there's an area that's highlighting on the enemy side of the board. And that's her range. So if you see I've put her way back here, it's only 1 square, 2 squares. So this shows where she can attack. So I'm going to put her right on the front lines because I know this is an NPC round, and the enemies are going to spawn right here. So that puts her at max range. She doesn't have to run or move. She'll just start attacking. So with that, believe it or not, that's one round already. Remember that rounds 1 through 3 are NPC rounds, and I'll be getting a chance at items in each of those. You always get an item whether you win or you lose, but if you lose an NPC or creep round, you don't get to choose necessarily what you want to take. So let's go ahead and start our first combat here. Alright, we're starting the first round here, and we'll go ahead and get in action. So again, remember the first 3 rounds are NPC rounds. And you notice how the drow didn't move because she was already in her attack range. If you have a hero that is not within their attack range, they're going to move to the next closest enemy that's near them and move to attack. So, not a shock. We were victorious our first round, and let's take a look at our first 3 items. Draw your attention to the upper right hand of the screen here. We're preparing for round 2, but we have 15 seconds to make our choice. So this really lends back to, I'm trying to help stress to you guys here, that familiarize yourself with items and heroes as best you can before you play, because you won't have enough time to read these and make a decision. I'm going to take a really straightforward item. We have our choice of one hero item, and I can tell it's a hero item because, again, round icon, and the hero that has this equipped is going to have plus 10 armor, which is a very sizable piece of armor. This is a great early starting item that actually doesn't scale throughout the game, but armor for heroes does not change dramatically throughout the game. So this plus 10 armor is quite good all the way through the end game. Now the next 2 are globals, and they affect specific alliances. For example, Unstable Reactor here. All allied inventors explode when they die for 20% of their max health to all enemies that are 1 cell away. So basically anybody adjacent to that hero that has an inventor alliance will take some damage. We reviewed this one in a previous video, Soul Sucking Siphon, and basically if you have allied units that are next to one of your heroes with the Warlock Alliance, they're going to heal for 25% of all damage caused by abilities and items. Pretty powerful. You'll also notice under the globals, it'll give me a little information to help me out. It says, listen, this is going to affect 0 heroes on the board and 0 on the bench, and we see the same thing down here. We're very early game. We've got 1 whole hero, but it becomes a little bit more useful in the later rounds. But this might help you as you learn to quickly gauge whether or not you want to help it. I'm going to take the chainmail because I think it's really straightforward and a very useful item here for our tutorial. So I'm going to take the chainmail. Now, as soon as I'm done choosing the item, I'm going to be returned to the main game board, and I'm going to be taken right to the item tab, and you're going to see on the tab it says, listen, you've got 1 unequipped item. It's here flashing at me to try to help make sure I place the item. Now, the only way to move items is to drag and drop them. So I'm just left clicking, dragging and dropping, and I've now equipped it on my drow. I'm going to close the store here, and you'll see her armor is 15. Now, if I take that item off, I can do that by, can't do that. I've got to drag and drop it. If I drag it off into nowhere, it unequips it. She has 5 armor base, but as I put the chainmail on her, she now has 15. Now, normally, remember, we'd be here, and this would be ticking down, and we would have our 25 seconds to be making all these decisions. So, I got 5 new heroes for the random store round, and I've got one that already matches, so I have a drow.
You won't regret this.
And to level her up to 2-star, I need to have a total of 3 1-star units to go to the next level. So, once I get another and purchase another drow, she'll upgrade to 2 stars, which will significantly power her up. I also have 1 remaining gold, so you'll notice I can purchase another hero, and I am going to purchase another hero right now. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take Axe, because I want a tank character. So I've got someone there that's going to protect my drow. He's really good, he's tanky, he's got extra health, he's got 700 health, and he has got 5 armor. Now you said, wait a minute, and I'm going to move this armor over to Axe, so that he's got even more armor to protect himself against. Just a reminder here, when you have a hero selected, you can mouse over and see more about their abilities. And the reason I put Axe out there is because once his mana is full and he has a target and his ability's off of cooldown, he can trigger it, and every hero that is adjacent to him, a opposing hero, is going to have to attack him, and that'll hopefully pull any heroes that have aggroed onto our drow so that she can continue to do the damage while he can do his job, which is to take a punch. Alrighty, so that was it for basically pre-round 2. Now we're moving into the combat phase here of round 2. So we're going to go ahead and click the play button. Normally this happens all automatically, but I'm going to force it into action. And we're going to see the next round here as the NPCs come up. You'll notice that everybody's attacking axe, which is what we want. He's got the most armor and the most health, so he's able to absorb all that damage, leaving the drow free to move and attack. Not a surprise. The NPC rounds are really quite easy, and you can possibly lose the next round if you have very soft, squishy heroes, meaning they don't have a lot of health, a lot of damage doers, or ones that don't have offensive capabilities. Alright, so again, we're back to our loot round here. And we've got a couple of hero items. We have Vitality Booster, which is a tier 1. It grants 250 extra health to a character that is equipped to. This can be really helpful in early and mid game, but really starts to fall off a little towards the late game as heroes will scale up in health considerably. You'll start getting heroes that start with, right now we're getting heroes that start basically between 500 and 1,000 health. But by the time we've got 2 and 3 stars, they'll have 2 to 3,000 health when they start often. So when they get all the way up to 3 levels, so you can see that doesn't always scale. Not a bad item choice. Don't let me discourage you, but just trying to teach you some of the concepts. Looking here, we have Gloves of Haste, which are nice, and it adds 20 attack speed points, which means whatever hero has it equipped, they'll attack faster. It's great for making slower attacking heroes attack a little quicker, or what I like, fast attacking characters even faster. It can be very helpful. And then the last week we got our choice of another global item, which is Embarrassment of Riches. So neutral rounds, which are creep rounds, again 1 through 3, rounds 10, and every 5 rounds after. We get an additional choice. So you notice we have our choice of 3 items. If I choose Embarrassment of Riches, this will give us 4 choices instead of 3. We still have one more loot round, and I'm actually going to take Embarrassment of Riches so we can see some more options. All right, with that, once we're done selecting our prize, again, we'll return to the board and the next round is proceeding. So normally, again, this would be 25 seconds. You can see right now that the store is highlighted the Drow Ranger because it says, listen, this is an upgrade. So anytime you see this, that means this Drow will be upgraded to 2 stars, which is very nice to have a 2-star already. So I'm going to go ahead and buy her, and you're going to notice the Drow on my bench disappeared, and the Drow here stayed on my board but was replaced with a 2-star. Her stats now are roughly double what she had. Certain stats go up, some down. Like, for example, she had armor 5 before, it doesn't go up. But her attack and her health doubled. She went from 400 health to 800 health. So she's much tougher. Her damage increased, it roughly doubled. So she's a lot tougher. Let's go back. I'm reopening the store. And we now still have 4 heroes. And we have 2 gold. You can see down here in the lower left that where we have 2 out of 3 heroes, so we really should buy another hero and put them into play. These are all 1-star unit or 1 tier 1 units. They all cost 1 gold. So I'm going to buy the Enchantress because she does healing and put her on the board. Again, we're looking at Axe to suck up all the damage. Drow is going to do is going to produce the damage for our side, and the Enchantress is going to do damage and heal for us. So that's our plan. Down here, I'm still not in the range of earning any gold interest. If you've watched the other videos, you would have seen that for every 10 gold I hold at the start of a round, I'm going to earn interest. So I can feel free to spend this because if I get another, this gives me more options to match up when I get those random 5 units. So let's go ahead and start this next round here, round 3, the last round of the NPCs. You'll see here there's quite a few more NPCs, and it is possible to lose this round. Shamefully, I have done so a couple of times over many, many games, but it looks like we're having no problem here because we have a good character selection. Plus, having a 2-star by round 3 is fantastic. So the round ends, and we'll go to our loot round here once this timer counts down. Alrighty, remember I took that Embarrassment of Riches global, so we now have 4 choices. And we are given 3 globals, and 1 arcane and 1 hero level item, the arcane boots. The stable reactor, remember that one that was one of our very first choices, and that's the one that gave the inventors explosive damage when they die. So if I had selected that in the first round, and here, these do stack. So if I had chosen both of these, I have no way of knowing they're coming, but if I did get both of these out, that means my inventors would deal 40% of their maximum health total every time they died. That's very powerful. You can't count on that happening. This is all random, but definitely very powerful. And then, of course, that's really going to push your hand. You're saying you've invested 2 of your items. It's going to push your hand to wanting to play inventors. Taking a look at this item, which is Arcane Boots. It's basically when it's equipped, the hero has when the hero gets to greater than 50% mana, it's going to restore 25% mana to all the allies that are one cell away. This is a great way to quickly initially boost all your heroes' mana so they can get their abilities off quicker. A lot of times, this auto chess can be a first strike type game, meaning the ones that do the damage first can get to their ability triggers first, often have a strong upper hand in the round. Now, you'll notice also this only happens once per battle. So make sure you know the items. This won't continually do this. It just does it the first time. It's a great little initial bump to the abilities. Our next global here is completing the cycle, and that's tier 2. One thing I haven't mentioned yet was the tier, and generally the higher the tier, the more powerful the item itself. For completing the cycle, so basically this is similar to the Unstable Reactor, but when a druid dies, it heals all allies one cell away from it for 30% of its total life health for 6 seconds. So this means if I have a druid on the board and it dies, that if one of my heroes is adjacent to it, it's going to get a free heal. And we'll notice down here that it's telling me to help me again make some decisions. That if I buy this right now, currently I have 1 druid on the board, so this will apply to 1 druid and 0 on the bench. And the last item I'll spend a little time talking about here is the Aegis of the Immortal. It says, when you would otherwise take fatal damage, take no damage and destroy Aegis. This comes into play at the end of the game and is referring to the 100 life point total you play with. So these can be very handy for taking late in the game in case you're in trouble. So instead of dying, if fighting a battle would take you from 10 hit points to 0 hit points, this will allow you to survive another round and fight again. So maybe be able to change your board up, improve some of your heroes, or change your placement and on the board and make a difference. So just for this tutorial, because I don't plan on taking this all the way to the end, I'm going to go ahead and take an item that we can use, and I'm going to take the Arcane Boots and put it on the Drow, and that'll give everybody a quick little boost in health. One thing to do is make sure here, I don't know why it lets you do this, but I just realized that she doesn't get mana because she is a passive hero. It shouldn't let you put it there, but I'm going to put it here. She doesn't get mana because she doesn't use it. Her passive is basically to make anybody who's adjacent to her attack faster. Let's go ahead and take a look at what the store had to offer us this round. If we look up here, well, we've got another match for our Tinker. I know there's a lot going on, and sometimes the board can start to get very busy very quickly and hard to track down. But again, we have the screen here. The store is trying to tell us, hey, listen, you've already got one. So it kind of helps you understand what to grab. We have a Juggernaut, and you look here, this is the first time we've seen where the alliances are, and I've had this focused on our items, but I'm going to go ahead and click this tab, and it's going to take a look at our alliances, and it's going to tell us how close or not close we are to completing our alliances. And right now we have 6 partially filled out alliances, so I have to fill out these bars completely to gain the benefits of that alliance. So for each of these, I just need 1 more, 1 more, 1 more. This one needs 2 more, and this one needs 2 more as well. So Hunters and Warriors were not very close. Juggernaut up here is a tier 2 hero, and he's trying to give me some information from the story, saying, listen, if you buy me and you're able to put me into play, this is what your alliances look like. So it's basically telling me you'll fill the brawny. Now, you may not remember all the alliances, so if you ever forget what they are, you can just simply click on these alliance icons to highlight. So if I click on this, it will show me all the heroes on my board or my bench, what alliance they are. If they are outlined in this square of red, this means that they are a unique hero. So that'll kind of help you here, is in case you have duplicated heroes like here. I've got 2 Tinkers here. So I still have 3 gold. I'm going to go ahead and purchase the Juggernaut in preparation to start playing him. I am also going to put him into play because he's a tier 2 unit, and he will complete the brawny buff. So now both X, and I'll click on this, and you'll see, look, they're both highlighted. They're both gaining an extra 200 health, so that gives them quite a bit of health in the early game here. I'm also going to move, I have to remove a hero because now it says, listen, you're up. You have too many people. You have 4 of 3. So if I don't make a decision, it's going to pull one of these heroes off at random and put it on my bench at the start of the fight. If I have the unfortunate event of having too many heroes on the board and my bench full, it's going to pull that random hero off, and that random hero is going to be deleted, disappears, it's gone, and I'm not sure how the game mechanics work, but I'm hoping it pulls the lowest level hero it can, but boy, it'd sure be awful to lose a multi-star upgraded item. Alright, so what I'm going to do is, remember, moving items, I'm going to take these boots off of the Enchantress and put them on the Juggernaut, because I plan on pulling her out of combat. And you see I just drag and drop her to my bench. I'm now in compliance. That flashing red thing isn't there. And what this allows me to is complete my Brawny alliance. I keep my strongest hero out there right now, our 2-star Drow, on the board. It moved us another step because both Axe and the Juggernaut are warriors. It moved me another step closer here. Right now, I don't have anybody on my board that helps improve these, so those are one of the things we'll be looking for in the store. Let's go into round 4, and this will be our first time fighting against another player. In this case, they're all bots, but this will be our first time playing against another player. Alright, so round 4 combat against Miguel Bot. And he's, while he doesn't have any 2-stars, he does have a couple of upgraded heroes. He's got Pudge, who is level 2, and he has a level, tier 2 rather, Chaos Knight. Well, the plan seems to be working here. We don't have any heals out there, but boy, this is going to be close. Chaos Knights are pretty tough. He's going to stun my guy. And boy, this is going to come right... Oh, we end up with a loss. Fantastic. Meant to do that. Interesting example here of how things can be different. Alright, and you'll notice here's my first gold accrual, so we didn't have any win there, so we just got the base 5 gold. So we've gotten our 5 gold, and a number of things have changed there on the board. We're going to take a quick peek here. We noticed that we need another unit. I'm going to move him because he's going to keep at us until I put someone on the board here. We've got our new allotment of 5 heroes up top, and we can see here we've got some tier 2 units that are appearing up here for us, as well as 1s. I did gain a level to level 4. Now I have 4 of 4 just because I moved that hero on there. But let's take a look and see how the percentages have changed. So now the store, I had a chance at a tier 3 unit. That didn't happen, but 50% tier 1, 35% for tier 2, and 15% for tier 3. You can tell as the game progresses, you're going to have access to higher and higher units, and I'll try to remember to do this over the next couple of rounds. Going back to our store, we have some decisions to make, and we can see here that we do have some matches here when it comes to Timbersaw, but unfortunately he's matching on Inventor. And who are my inventors? Right now they're not currently in play. I've got one here that he would complete the Inventor buff, which means anybody who has the Inventor, so the Tinker and this Timbersaw, we get 15 hit points regenerations per second, roughly, per tick there. So while it is a match, it's not something I'm currently fielding. I mostly bought these 2 Tinkers down here looking for an easy, quick upgrade for a damage hero. Right now, taking a look at our items, we don't have anything that's specific, so a lot of times I'm typically want to upgrading to the higher units. If I sell these units, can I start earning gold is one of the things you want to think about, because if I've got him, it puts me at 4 of 4, while he adds the Inventor and the Scrappy icons. It doesn't help progress me towards the game. Nothing in the shop, again, the early rounds, so nothing to worry about here. This is very typical. Nothing advances me down the road. Right now, looking like if I could find some heroes or some Heartless, I think I would put those into play. Last fight we lost. I think it was lost due to damage, because the Juggernaut is not, while he is a damage hero, he's not particularly effective until he gets into level 2-star. And that's, again, something you're just going to learn as the game goes along. None of the characters presented up top other than the Anti-Mage are really damaged, and he's a tier 1. Though I don't dislike the Anti-Mage, so I'm actually going to buy the Anti-Mage. I'm going to sell off Tinkers, and I'm going to put the Empress into play. And Empress, but the Enchantress, so that she's going to bring some heals to it. She also brings her Druid and Savage buffs there. Doesn't help complete, so we're still working off just the Brawny. This will bring some heals, and I think that would have made all the difference in the last fight. We saw how close it came. So we're going to go ahead and start round 5's combat.
From the last round.
So we're up against a Pudge, a Tiny, an Axe, and an upgraded, a 2-star Warlock. These icons there, you saw there was those little white masks. That was Axe's taunt, and it was basically showing the mobs that were affected by taunt. So you see Juggernaut's triggering his whirlwind attack, got rid of Pudge, but we've lost our tank. Currently not doing so hot here. That was he was taunted again. The Enchantress is healing, which is keeping us in this game right now. She's doing damage to Axe, and so is the Juggernaut, but he's also getting heals from his Warlock. And unfortunately, our Tier 1 Enchantress is not going to be able to out-heal the Tier 2 Warlock. And while this is just going to drag out, and you keep seeing his Axe continues to trigger his ability and constantly keep heroes taunted. So that took a long time to lose. Alrighty, so that was the end of round 5. Now to round 6, it's going to give me my base 5 gold per round. If I'd won, I'd gotten 1. I don't have enough to have a lose streak right now, but we do have some extra options here. And if I buy Axe, he's going to go down here and he's saying, I've got an upgrade. Because it says down here, it says you have 2 level 1s already. This would make the 3rd. So I'm going to go ahead and buy Axe. And that level 2 should really help us out considerably. One of the things we didn't talk about earlier was winning and losing. The worst thing you can do in this game as far as gold generation is win, lose, win, lose, win, lose. And sometimes you don't have a lot to say about it because there's a lot of luck and a lot is dependent on what your opponents do. We try to get on win streaks, and early in the game you can get into lose streaks. Some people say you might be able to do it later in the game, but it's very hard to control when you are losing. In the early game here, if I just want to make sure I'm always losing matches, I just pull a hero off the board. Because if we look over here, all my opponents have 4 heroes on the board, and being just down a hero, in fact maybe even just pulling off the tank, I'm going to lose every single time. But I will also lose the maximum. So if you're going to lose, you want to try to lose, but you want to lose the minimum amount that you can to start streaking gold. But right now we're not going to worry about that. We're going to keep just trying to win right now, pretending that we think we can get to just a winning rhythm. So let's take a look. We've already done our purchasing in the store. Now I've got some decisions I can make. If I wanted some of these heroes, like Pudge is very tempting. He's worth 2 alliances. So if I can get Pudge into play, you notice here, look, it will complete the Heartless alliance as well as the Warrior alliance down here. And that's really big because that would all 3 of my Warriors would gain an extra 10 armor, a nice armor boost, and Heartless would begin applying, meaning that all my enemies suffer -5. Very powerful, and at this place would quickly put him in there to pull out the Enchantress. And you know what? In fact, I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and buy Pudge, put Pudge in. He's another tank-type character. We're still lacking damage, but this, I think, is more important because the Enchantress, while she gave us heals, she didn't complete any alliances. By pulling this out, we picked up 2 alliances. We had the Brawny, now the Heartless, because the Drow is Heartless, and so that gives us our enemies -5, so we'll be doing more damage. And then all my Warriors just got a lot tougher because they all got 10 extra armor. Let's take a quick look at Axe here. It's not showing because this won't apply until he gets in, but he is already at 15, so that's going to put him to 25 armor. Pudge would be raised up to 15 armor, and the Juggernaut 15 armor as well. So it makes him pretty tanky, pretty tough. So we're going to go ahead and call that around. The only downside to this is it took me below the interest. Now, I don't intend to field these heroes again, so I'm actually going to sell them. And if you remember, I don't think I've sold a hero yet, is that I can drag and drop that hero to the garbage can, and that will sell the unit. Or I can highlight the unit and press E, and that will sell the unit as well. And I chose to sell off my bench because they weren't particularly strong heroes. They didn't play into this current meta, and by selling them, I was able to pick up 2 more gold and bring me to that crucial point of 10 gold. So now next round, in addition to the 5 for the round that I always get, I will get 1 interest. And if I can win the round, I'll get 1 for a victory. So it starts making extra gold. Taking a look here, we can see what our opponents are doing. The bots are saving gold as well. Most of them are over 10. In fact, all of them are over 10. So we're going to go ahead and proceed into round 6. And Ahmed Bot has basically all tier 2 heroes and 1 tier 3. I think she's tier 3. I feel real good about this, and it's pretty clear that we mopped them up pretty fast. Part of that is because of the 2 alliances. I think bringing those in really upped the strength of our board because we are downgrading the armor of our opponents. Our brownies are tough, and all of our units got that additional armor so they can absorb. So that was a really sound round 6 for us here. Alright, so we have now entered our next combat round, because apparently I don't know how to hit the pause button. And I bought that pudge real quick. We're going to have to go through this round 7. Luckily, we're strong enough that we can weather that loss, or weather this win, and myself mistakenly not purchasing anything. Well, as we're preparing for round 8, some very good things just happened to us. One, we won that last round. We're now up to 22 gold, and I can now purchase this pudge. And this pudge, as you can see, I've already got two. The store's telling me, listen, you've already got 2 pudge, and the 2 pudge I have is one here in play, one on the board, right? Remember that highlight I told you about? It's going to say, hey, you're upgrading one of your units by collecting pudge. I now have a tier 2 pudge. This front line is getting rather beefy, and I'm going to start moving my positioning around a little bit more. I want to keep the Drow close because her passive, remember, again, is that she is granting attack speed to the units that are adjacent to her. And that's part of the reason that we're doing well here. Is we've got two really tough units. They're very strong. And in fact, even here, I'm going to leave the item there. But we can tell they're now getting 20%, because she's level 2. They're now getting a 20% boost as long as they're adjacent to her. So not a bad deal here. So we're at 20 gold. We're into our next round. I'm going to go ahead and open up the store. I bought that pudge, so we still have the 4 remaining units here. I'm at a critical point, though. I don't want to drop my gold. None of these units are critical. You can see here we can add Tusk, and he's another warrior, and he would be on our way to going 6 warriors. He would be another unique character. Of course, I can't put him on the board yet till I'm level 5. Looking over here, I'm looking at the bots' totals here. You can see their gold is listed up here at the top. I went through kind of close, but Gray's bot's got 27, 24, 29, 20. They're all saving except for down here. Their Elliot may have had a good match. We can see everyone's current total. We're still in the top 3 here, tied for top 3, with rather second place with Gray's bot here. I don't want to drop down because I want to keep this interest. It's starting to compound, right? We got 1 last round. Now we're going to get 2, so we're guaranteed at least 7 gold, 5 for the round, and then 2 for interest. Part of the reason I'm not taking Tusk is right now I want to show you a little bit of diversity in the builds, and I don't want to focus just on defensive heroes. I want to get some more offense in there. We already have 1 hunter. See if we can maybe get some hunters in there so that we have damage and hunters. So that's kind of the current game plan. We won't know until we see what's offered in the store. So from here, I'm done making purchases. I'm going to close the store and start our 8-round combat. So 8th round combat is up against Rebecca Bot. She is just a spot below us. She's pretty tough. She's got an upgraded 2-star Ogre Mage. She has 2 demons that do big AoE damage. But I think we've got enough here to get through it. Looks like we do. That damage was magical, so my armor doesn't protect against it. But we mopped them up pretty darn fast. Another solid win there, knocking the opponents down, and we get into the preparation round. And we can see here we now have got interest, our win streak, and a victory there. I wish that was a little bit slower. Hopefully you saw it, but we got quite a bit of round. We got 9 gold that round, 5 for the win. We got 2 for interest. We got 1 for a win, and we got 1 for a win streak. So now is a great chance of how do I keep track of my win and loss streaks? One, well, keep track of it in your head. But another thing, to get additional information on our opponents, I can press and hold the tab key, and that brings up this submenu that shows you a lot more information about your opponents. So your position is going to change because it's dictated life highest to lowest. So I'm here in the middle. I've got 3 wins and 2 losses so far. I have a win streak of 3. The net worth is a combination of the gold you hold and the characters that the value of the characters that you have. You can see the alliances that are completed. It doesn't tell you what they're working on, so if they have incomplete ones, it won't tell you there. It'll tell you what global items they have in play and what heroes they have on their bench. So we can see here, apparently the bots like to take the Aegis of the Immortal, which is that one that saves you from dying towards the end game. So they're prepping for the losses here. I like that. Preparing for failure. Way to go, bots. But we can see some additional information here. The opponent we just beat was Rebecca, and she had, now this could have changed because we're between rounds, but it looks like it's the same, that she had the 2-star Ogre Mage, a tier 3 Mage, Rihanna. You can tell what items they had equipped. You can mouse over. Again, remember, during this time we only have 25 seconds to move our units. make buying decisions, move things around, move items. It goes so fast, especially when you're first learning. You don't have time to look at this. So eventually, sadly, you'll start to memorize the icons. And they had two demons there. I don't even remember what this one was, but we can tell the alliances that they have in effect here. So right now, I'm feeling pretty strong. We're on a good win streak right now. This, just because you start winning doesn't mean you won't keep going. But if you don't continue to add more powerful units or complete alliances or add additional heroes by leveling up, the rest of the field will catch up to you. You can't rest on your laurels. All right, so let's see here. We're again preparing for round 9 with the store offered us. Remember I mentioned I was thinking about bringing rangers into the game. We are now level 5. If we look down here, we can see it's saying, hey, by the way, you're down. I'm going to take this Wind Ranger. She is powerful unit, and I'll talk a little bit more about our placement now. We had 29 gold, and whether I've got 29 gold or 20 gold, I still only get 2 interest. So I can spend some additional gold to buy these heroes to see if I might place them. Now, I'm going to go ahead and buy the Golden Mean and the Treant just to show you the premise of this, because I'm going to quickly sell them off. I get 100% of the gold I spent on unupgraded heroes back. So we're looking at the board here. I like my placement. So I need to place my Wind Ranger. Ideally, I want to place her right next to the Drow because I want that attack bonus. Remember, she has that passive. And we can see the area of control and range that the Wind Ranger has. So I want you to look at the top of the screen. You can see, remember, the highlight is moving up. She's got a pretty effective range. If I put her there, she's going to be able to attack almost everything. The downside is if my opponent has lots of area effect damage, if my units are tightly bunched together, there's more of a chance that they're going to get hit by everything. Now that I have the Wind Ranger on the screen, you can see that she brought in, she is 2 alliances, sorry, and elusive and that. So she took us 1 step into elusive. This here, over here, the colored box that's hollow says, listen, you've got another elusive unit on your bench that could help you complete this. Again, I don't remember everything, so I'm going to click on the icon, and it's going to tell me who's got the elusive. Again, I don't remember who my Heartless is. It's Pudge and the Drow. Same thing for the Brawny. So remember, you'll find that super useful when you're learning the game and haven't started to memorize some of this just from lots of replay. So I've got my board. I like this. The Wind Ranger is going to bring us a ton of damage. She's a tier 3 hero. And she's going to get that buff right there. She doesn't need to move to attack. She's going to stand right next to that Drow and help produce a lot of damage for us. All right, so with that, I think we're ready to go right into combat. Round 9 combat. Tyrell bot. A little bit lower on the field here. Tyrell has 5 heroes, has an assassins. Assassins jump right to the back and start shooting and stuff. I'm making short work of this team. Pudge's ability went and grabbed and sucked that assassin right in. Our Juggernaut's Whirlwind, and we just smashed our opponent. Another solid win. Feels good, doesn't it, gang? All right, so now that we've got a little bit more on the board, I've talked a lot about the Alliance tab. We've talked about the item tab. That, is always making sure you don't forget about this. And does it make sense to move something here? I really think because this character is often farther away, what characters I want to power up. Right now, I still think I think it might be actually better served being on the Wind Ranger, and I can just drag and drop this. If I drag and drop it under nobody, it becomes unassigned, or I drag it right back onto the hero. I'm going to have the Wind Ranger power up, because when she pops, she's most likely going to be standing still next to these guys. I really want it to benefit herself. You know what? Yeah, we'll go ahead and just do that. All right, so we're getting into the later rounds here. We can tell it makes more sense to talk about those first rounds level so fast. So I'm at 1 of 8 XP to get me to the 6th level. You can see the little orange is starting to appear around this perimeter. And as I get more experience, that will start to fill up. So every round you play and survive, you get 1 XP. So if I do not spend any gold, it will take me 7 more rounds to get another hero out. So if we look over here over here, we can see a little bit more about our opponents, and we're all pretty much at 5. But if we look down here at the very last bot, this bot has spent some of their hard-earned gold and pushed themselves to level 6. That we've all gotten the same amount of experience naturally, but she spent 10 gold. I can tell because it would every time we spend 5 gold, we get 4 gold. So if I spend 5 right now, that would give us 5, and then I'd have to spend another 5 to get into the next level. So she's invested some of the gold that she's been saving in getting another hero out on the board. So that's somewhat powerful in its own right, because extra heroes means more damage, more potential combos, the better chance to complete alliances. So there will be times where it makes sense, but here I want to keep us on the gold interest earning train, so I'm going to keep the interest here pretty high at 3. Because we have a little more time to talk about it, we talked about how we can look here and see information on our opponent. We can press tab and get a big display. If you want to see how your enemy is positioned, you can get some additional information. This might help you when you don't recognize icons. By clicking directly on the icon here for the opponent, I can see where they are, where they're currently placed. Now, this could be moving around between rounds because everyone's getting to move stuff. So this bot is chosen. She has no upgraded heroes, but there's a tier 1 Tiny, a tier 2 Ogre Mage, a tier 2 Temper Saw, a tier 2 Slarter, a Wind Ranger. So I don't like that. She's gathering Rangers and Luna there. So we're in competition for the Wind Rangers with this player, at least this player at least. So while she's got 6 out there, she hasn't got a particularly big comp. She's not got a lot of heals. Decent amount of damage, though, for these characters. And 2 tanky characters. So not a bad format, but you can see where she's at in the bottom of her life total. One thing we haven't talked about a little bit was the store. And I'm actually going to go over here. So turn 6, we can see we actually had a chance to get tier 4 units now that we're level 6. Anytime the store refreshes while we're level 6, that's whether the free reroll or I spend some gold to redo it. This is the percentage chance each of those slots have to produce those tiers. So I'm still producing at a high percentage tiers 1, 2, and 3 units with a small chance at tier 4 units. But they're coming, so we'll probably see one here in our next round or two. So looking back here at the map, what do we have to make some purchase? I do want to kind of try to do our best. Oops, and sorry, that's not us that stays the hero, so I'm going to reselect us. So we get there, I was like, where'd all my gold go? I've got 1 gold I can spend and not take us below the interest cap. But if I see heroes that I think are more useful, I don't think now the Enchantress is gone. I'm going to go ahead and sell off the tree because I want to buy that axe. Because again, the axe and the drow help advancing me towards advancing those heroes. Now, I'm going to have to get a total of 3 2-star units to upgrade to a level 3. You can place multiple units of the same type on there. I'd have to take the Wind Ranger off, but I could put another axe on the board if I wanted to. Right now, there's no benefit. He doesn't count as a unique character. He's only a 1-star. He's only tier 1. The Wind Ranger, obviously, a far superior choice. But there will be times when you've got multiple 2-star units where it really makes sense to put out a second 2-star unit, even though it won't help advance your stats here. All right, so I'm almost ready to start combat. There's one more thing I wanted to show you, which was the damage battle statistics tracker. So this stays current as of the last fight. It updates real time when you're playing. So if we look here, we can see who's doing what on our team. So we look at this last battle, the battle's over. The Wind Ranger did a lot of damage, and so did the Drow, which is to be expected, the damage class. But Pudge did a respectable amount as well, and so down the Juggernaut and Axe. We can go through here, again, I'm just clicking on the header and see who's got the highest DPS. A lot of times it relates directly to who did the damage, but DPS is not reflective necessarily of specials. We can see how much taking damage. Pudge is doing his job, and so is Axe. They're taking more damage than the other players. Healing, we can see if my team healed. I'm going to go quickly click over, and you can say, well, was the enemy healing? By clicking over the enemy, and it sure was. Our opponent had an Omni Knight who healed himself or other heroes on the other team for 400 damage, a little bit more. And then the last stat is kills. You can see who's getting the kills. So finishing with Wind Ranger doing a lot of work there for me, and I'm just going to put it right back. You can also click these little buttons down here, the little dots down here to advance it. I find it a lot harder. I just click on the header, but this will let you, instead of scroll through them, it'll let you click to a direct one once you got them memorized where they're at. All right, so we were getting into preparing for round 10. We've got our gold spent here. I'm going to show you another tactic too that I want to show you. Is that, again, you say, well, I want this unit. I can pick anything I want because I just got to make sure I stay at that 10 plus mark, right? So this is we're going to get 3 gold interest this round. But let's say I really wanted the Bat Rider or Slark. I could buy them and go down below and sacrifice the interest, or I can wait till the round starts to make purchases. So gold for the round is calculated when the round starts because we're still preparing for it. So once we see the round start, and I'll go ahead and start the round is now officially started. We see the counter. I'm using the space bar, opening it up. I'm purchasing Slark, and I made that purchase. So I bought Slark. So even though I dropped below the 30, that 30 gold was captured at the start of the round. So that's what I'm going to earn my interest off. We handily beat the creeps up that NPC round, so that was nice. And now we're going to get another shot at some gold. We're going to get another item. We've got another pair of arcane boots that I'm not really interested in. We have a global, which is Fall from Grace for any humans, which currently I have one on the bench, which would be the Crystal Mage. That they basically count as heartless, so that might be something I'm thinking about. Got an Aegis of Immortality, which basically is that one item, again, that keeps me from taking fatal damage in case things go horribly wrong. And an Age of Chivalry, which helps out knight characters. So I'm not going to read all this in the interest of time. You're going to learn these. I'm going to take another pair of those arcane boots because I like all my abilities triggering as fast as they can, and I'm going to go ahead and put them on Pudge, and he'll make sure he triggers everybody. Alright, so now we're back here at the store. We earned quite a bit of gold. We're at 35, but I have a lot of gold sitting here on my bench. I have no intention of using Slark, so I can sell him, and I'm going to get all 3 gold back that I paid for him. And my interest right here is selling units until I get myself back above 40, because I really want to be able to use the interest here. Now, we're in a little bit of a predicament here. We've got another Pudge, but buying him, we definitely want to get him. Remember I said what I could have done is wait to start around, and what I should have done was wait there so that I didn't lose the interest. But now I'm going to lose a point of interest. I could sell off one of these units, but these are potential upgrades. I want to potentially keep all of these here. So I'm going to go ahead and sacrifice a point of gold when I should have waited till the round started to make the purchase, and it would have locked me in at that 41 and would have given me the interest. So we're going to go ahead and start round 11 now. Round 11, up against Tristan. We've faced Tristan before and beat him soundly. He's upgraded quite a bit. Notice all of his units are now 2 stars. Again, when you see these little masks, that's who's being taunted. And so, wow, we've got a real slugfest here. We've got a lot of tough units. Their axe is down. Hopefully my Juggernaut is getting ready to trigger his ability. We'll start doing some damage since we lost Pudge. Pudge is down, so axe is picking up where he left off the tanking. And we continue to do a lot. If you can see over here, the stats are counting up and down as we continue to fight. That Wind Ranger definitely paid off, doing a vast majority of our damage. Our tanks did a great job taking it. Pudge, I'm going to take a look at damage taken. Pudge took a whopping 2,400, almost 2,800 damage. Part of his ability to do that is he comes with quite a bit of health there. He's got a lot of armor that allowed him to take it. We also have... I don't think we have any healing, excuse me, so we don't have any healing yet. So that's like probably the one thing that's missing from our group here. All right, so we hit a magic number. We broke 50. That's the max interest we can earn per turn is 50. 50, meaning 5 gold interest per turn is what the game is capped out. So whether I have 50 gold or 100 gold, I'm only going to earn 5 gold interest. So we're here preparing for round 12. So let's see what the store has brought us. Well, we've got one match on the Juggernaut. He's still 1 star, so we're going to go ahead and purchase him after the round begins because I don't want to drop us below this 51. We're really looking to try to get some additional healing. The Abaddon is also a consideration, which I'll probably buy him as well to see if we get some early matchups. It'd be nice to get us some healing. The Enchantress would be, but she's so low level right now. I don't think we're really looking at that. It'd be nice if we could pick up a couple of Warlocks because they help heal. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to start the round, and then we're going to make our purchases. So remember, this locks in. I'm going to get the 5 interest. I'm going to buy the Juggernaut and the Abaddon here just so I have these additional choices. And we're up against Grace. And we are starting to make short worthwhile. That Wind Ranger with another big smash and hit. Wind Ranger carrying my team, but that was kind of the point, right? Right now I'm really looking forward to either getting another Hunter on the board or some healing. I think right now another Hunter would just really put us over the top. So we're in the preparing for round 13. Taking a quick look at my opponents. Looks like I'm the only person still at level 5. All the opponents have pushed through to level 6. So they've all got 1 extra hero on the board over me currently, which is starting to get some advantage here. So let's take a look. We've got up here, we've got 59 gold. So I can spend 9 gold before the round and not jeopardize anything for the round. This Abaddon I really only bought for the sake of seeing if we were able to match it up with another one here. So I'm going to go ahead and sell him immediately. Again, getting all the money back. I'm going to pick up the Drow Ranger. So if we look here, good call. I've got the 2 here, but I have to, when I get a 3rd Drow, this will convert to a 2-star Drow. And then I have to do that 2 more times, unfortunately. I have to get 3 2-star Drows in order to be able to go to a 3rd star, but that's a huge upgrade. It doubles in strength. So taking a look here at the store, I think right now I think I'm winning handily but I don't have a reason to really push myself. Remember, I'm getting interest all the time here, and as long as I can keep my gold above it, we're doing really well. We've got, I think, some of the most of the gold in the game. We've got Grace here, the 0 gold. She basically had to spend everything to probably get herself to level 8 and there. But take a look at that 8. She has 3 more heroes, so I'm going to guess with the pushing she's done that while she may not have a lot of big upgraded units, she's doing all right. Yeah, she's got a lot of higher. So tier 3 Slark, tier 3, tier 3, tier 3, tier 3. So 2 mages, tier 3, tier 3, tier 1. So interesting lineup. She's going to be easier to beat because those, again, they're tier 3. They're still not vicious until they get to 2 stars. That's basic across most of them. So she's really sacrificing. If you look over here, has not done a good job. She's got such a hodgepodge. She has really no alliances completed except the ones that come on her Demon Hunter and her Demon, which are one character alliances. I mean, they're applied immediately, so not a lot of advantage there. So she spent a lot of money, so getting desperate, and she's earning no interest. So we're going to steadily outpace that person here just because we'll be earning so much interest. So let's go back to the store. I don't think I've done any rolling. We have been so fortunate in our upgrades. They've come to us. Now, this is where some of the luck of the game comes in. We've had very good luck. And so I don't want these heroes, but basically I'm going to start re-rolling here. So I'm going to spend 2 gold, and it's going to give me 5 new characters. And it's all random based on the percentages based on my level. So at level 5, these are the percentages. So I've got just a 2% chance of picking up a tier 4 unit right now at level 5. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and select the Wind Ranger because that's an upgrade. If I can pick up another one of her, we are going to get her to 2-star, and she's really going to start wrecking. Boy, I'm looking at that. We got an Abaddon. That would have been a nice to have a tier 3 upgrade. Again, wouldn't have fit, not totally out of it, but it gives us some options as to if I end up pulling the draw off the board to help us with the Heartless. We're not worried about Knights right now. We're still at 56 gold. I'm going to go ahead and roll again, and this is usually where the game starts, because once I get 50, it doesn't behoove me to save extra gold per se. Now, with this, another big upgrade. I've got a Juggernaut here on the board, right? A Juggernaut on the bench. That's if I reverse that. But it's telling me, hey, you're going to get an upgrade. Boom. Upgraded, level 2 Juggernaut. His stats is basically his damage and health is doubled. You could tell his spin fury, so now when he spins, he deals 100. His ability is doubled there. We're looking for things that heal. Things that heal are warlocks, but you need to have 2 of them, so the Shadow Fiend might be an option. I'm also going to, at this point, I've got to look to get a gain level, because I want to be able to put another hero on the board that drops me down, because it was 5 gold for the 4 points, drops me below. I'm going to end up putting out another Wind Ranger. I want the DPS because I think right now that just continues. You'll notice it didn't complete the Hunter because she is not a unique character, right? We already have one out here. If we click on it, they're going to be highlighted who are unique. So highlighted means, I'm going to off-click off her so that you see it better. But unique, while these are Hunters, these are not unique because they don't have that square around them. Doesn't matter. I want her damage. We see how much this one's doing. We now just basically, hopefully doubled that. I could look to sell off some heroes to get back up, but at this point I'm willing to sacrifice 1 interest in order to get her out and get a chance at a couple rerolls. So with that, we're going to go ahead and start round 13. That's Rebecca Bot. This is the one we ran into that has all the AoE damage. She has added a second assassin here. As a powerful 3 assassin. They've jumped to the back line, and you can see the damage they inflicted. Got our Wind Ranger, but we just do so much damage to the rest of their board. The rest of the team comes in for the rescue, but they basically killed both of our Wind Rangers before they were able to do a lot of damage. We can tell one of them was almost instantly deleted here, only doing 300 damage, while the one that lived a little bit longer did quite a bit more. Alright, so we're now into the next round, and I'm going to start going through these rounds a little bit more quickly, just because we're probably going to take 30 rounds to win this game. We have a chance to buy a Pudge. Why didn't he upgrade? Because I need to get a 3rd Pudge to make a 2-star Pudge. We already have a 2-star Pudge out here. We've already pressed past the level, so I'm going to spend some time. We've got a lot of upgrades we could be getting right now. There's our first, I think our first 4-star unit that we've seen, our 4th tier that we've seen with Doom. I'm going to go ahead and pick him because it doesn't cost me anything to bring him down. I'm going to roll one more time. I didn't have an intention of buying because if I see anything up here that I like, I'm going to buy it after the round starts so that I can keep my interest rolling. So with that, I'm going to close this door, start the next round. Lanebot's that one that maxed out. Remember, it had that hodgepodge of characters. I'm curious to see how they do because she has no alliances working for her. And we lost somebody up there really quick, but still just... Nope, we didn't lose anybody. Excuse me. We just ended up trashing her. You know, our Brawning units are probably the ones that could be replaced. Like, I'm looking for something strong to replace him. There's a nice one. An upgrade. Now that we are in round 15, the store comes up. I've got my gold. I'm at 65. I got 15 gold I can spend now between wins and all that. So let's hit tab real quick here. And I've won 8 games in a row, so that reset my streak. So I lost the first 2 that I played, and then I won the last 8. So win streaks reset when they hit 8, and then so I'll start building back up the gold here. But I've done really well through this. My net worth is second highest in the game. The only person we've beat Tristan when we ran into him, I think Tristov. No, you know what? I don't think we've run into Tristov. He's going to be tough. He's got a lot of 2-star units and some mages. He's going to be a tricky one to deal with, and that's where my axe upgrades are going because he's got a 2-star axe. He's got an axe on his board, so that's why I can't seem to find any axe upgrades, which is okay. We're doing just fine here, but this is an instance of putting out duplicates of units because they're just very strong. Now we're going to take Pudge, and Pudge basically says, listen, you can get a 2-star because you have 1-star here. So by buying Pudge, those 2 Pudges that are 3 1-stars are going to combine into a 2-star. So Pudge is on his way to becoming a 3-star hero. Again, I have to get 3 more 1-star Pudges, and then those would all combine into a 2-star. Then I would then have then that instantly goes into a 4-star. There's something I like to see right now. We have a Medusa. If you look up here, you see what she's telling us. She's saying, listen, I've got alliance, a scale alliance, and a hunter. This would be my 3rd hunter, and if I can get her on the board, all the hunters now have a 20% chance of performing 2 extra quick attacks. That's huge. It does a lot of damage, and that's what I was hoping for. My plan here is basically to get her out, and then that will leave me. That'll be shooting my 7th hero, and then it gives me 3 heroes either to add more to another alliance, but hopefully I'm going to get some high-end warlocks for healing. So I'm going to buy the Medusa and start thinking about leveling because I want to push for that next level. I want to get her out. She's key to really keeping my team ramping up. So I'm going to spend 5 gold, and that gets me a little bit along the way. I'm still 10 away from level 7. You can see most of the bots have leveled up to between 7 and 8. There's a couple of us down here at 6, but we've already got strong teams. So again, I don't want to jeopardize my gold. You know what? I think we're good here. And we're just going to go ahead and fight this out. Forgot it was a combat round, so good glad I didn't spend through, so this becomes an NPC round, so we're going to get a chance at another item here. Again, we'll always get an item, either we win or lose, just if we lose, we don't get to choose. And so those guys jumped in, and look, they immediately ate the Rangers. So there's a chance we could lose this. This is usually when I lose an NPC round. Sadly, it tends to be this one. This is a pretty tough round because they all jump around like assassins and really divide your troops up. If I had been paying attention, I could have put them all into a back corner, and that would have prevented a little bit of what we were seeing there. But we come through in the end. We've got a pretty strong, solid comp here. So we're able to overcome the fact that both of our Wind Rangers were killed pretty much immediately. Look at them doing very little damage compared to where they normally would be. So we're now seeing some tier 3 items here. We had a chance at another Aegis. You can get multiple of these. Again, playing against the bots, and I made them level so we could see the game advance there. Wow, we've got one here. There is another a buff here for the hunters. Deal 10% extra damage for each other hunter attacking the same target. So if I'm able to get my hunters all focusing in, and there is a way by doing placement to help them focus the same target, they're able to bring that in. I'm planning on using 3 hunters. That's pretty good, but if they're not attacking the same target, you don't benefit it. And it's 10% is good, but it's not a lot. So I'm actually going to stay away from this one. I think right now it's not particularly well suited to what I want to do. So looking at affected units, again, remembering everybody that the globals tell you, hey, you got so immediately could potentially help 2 on the board and 1 on the bench. Again, if I can't get the 2 hunters attack the same target, it's not worth it to me, although I could be mistaken. So I'm actually going to take an item that I know always works and a little bit simpler. It's going to add attack damage, 25 attack damage, which is decent. And what's more important is it gives an extra 25% chance to stun the target. So as it 1 to 4 times it hits, it's going to stun the target for 1.5 seconds. Stuns are big, especially as you get late in the game. You want to stun other characters. Wow, the store! I am just hitting a lot of good upgrades. We're gonna be able to upgrade to Pudge here. But continuing on, where are we gonna put that item? I want to put it on one of my fastest attacking heroes. Close the store so we can see. And I'm looking for the attack rate that's high. So she's 7. She's 0.77. So keep your eyes there. Wind Ranger, definitely a much faster attack rate. I'm gonna move this item over here. Give her the attack, because I want whoever attacks the fastest to potentially be there. She does so much more damage than the Juggernaut. We're going to leave an eye on the Wind Ranger. Still really strong. Still have lots of gold. Going to reopen the store. You think we're buying these Pudges, gang? Heck yeah, we're buying the Pudge. We are now 1 Pudge away from a level 3 Pudge, which is fantastic. We're also getting really close to level 7. Just because I would like to see a Pudge, I'm going to go ahead and roll once to see if we got a Pudge. It would be really unlucky. We didn't get any other upgrades. Our bench is completely full of stuff we want. I can make an argument right now to sell the Doom, because when am I going to put him in? He's not a healer. He's just a high-level unit that I wanted to see if we'd gotten some chances to match up against that didn't play out. We still, again, remember, if I have any amount at 15 or more, I'm getting the same amount, so I'm going to go ahead and spend a little bit more there to get us closer to that level. We're going to get 1 for this, so I can spend upgrade next turn for sure. Just because I'm hopeful for a Pudge or a Wind Raider, I'm going to go ahead and roll one more time. Didn't happen up there. There's nothing I really want to buy, so still keeping the interest. Go ahead and we're going to do our round 16 combat. Tyrol Assassins, 3 across the board. They're going to come into the back, and you can see them just immediately picking on this poor Wind Ranger. But my other Wind Ranger, the one with the better item, is just going to town and doing work. And there she is. Another solid win. Which is really nice when you consider how strong my group is. This synergy here. And this is over here telling me, hey, you know what, get that other hunter on the board. And it's telling me, look, here's your hunters, but here's the unique one. This is the one you need to put on the board. The store didn't give us much here. I'm preparing for round 17. But we are going to get that. We're going to get that Medusa out. We're going to spend 5 gold. That gets us to level 7 and gets us the Medusa in play. I could have also opted to move out one of the Wind Rangers and get her in earlier, which is what I probably should have done. I wasn't paying attention. All right, so we are now at level 57. We're going to do a couple of rolls here to see if we can't get hoping for a Wind Ranger, maybe another Pudge. So go ahead and roll 55. Nothing here. I'm going to go ahead and roll again so that you can see the importance. I'm going to buy that Juggernaut for potential Juggernaut upgrades. He's been paying off, even though I think arguably he's not one of the strongest characters out there. We're now down to 51 gold. I don't want to jeopardize our interest, and we're going to go ahead and play Ahmed. So we are playing against Ahmed, and he is about middle of the pack. He has got a decent amount of AoE. He's got Arc Wardens. You see my Pudge grab that assassin, drug him right in. That's something we haven't seen. That's a character called Kunkka. That boat stuns everything, and we've actually taken quite a bit of damage this round. We've got no healing, so we're really relying on our strong offense to take us through. And if we take a look here, Medusa did a decent amount, but one of the things that she does is she stuns opponents. And that's part of the reason I wanted her out here was for that ability. I'm going to close this door temporarily to look at her ability. So her passive is that she shoots split shot. It goes out and it shoots into multiple targets. Let's take a look here. So we've now got this. So all the hunters are now getting the bonus. I've become even more powerful. I'm like offense, offense, offense. If I ever get really stunned a lot, I'm going to be in a lot of trouble because a lot of these heroes can't take a lot of damage. So getting back to the store, not a lot of units that I want to take a look at. I'm going to at least roll one time. I'm going to roll again. The Drow, potential upgrade there to the Drow, so the Drow starting getting closer to 3 level. The axe, if I need room, I'm going to pitch that axe, and I can also move on and get the Doom out of here because I don't think he fits into my current style of play. There's a tier 4 lone druid in there. He's a strong unit by himself, but again, right now we're looking for units that help benefit and buff this. I'm going to go ahead and roll one more time. Not a lot there. unfortunately, when you roll and you don't get anything that you feel is worth purchasing or helping you, it's not thrown away money, but it's lost money. And I'm going to go ahead and spend 5 more gold here and just start working towards level 8. We look at most of our opponents are at level 8. We've got this rascal down here pushing for 9. So it's important that we keep up on your units, or we run the risk of them overwhelming us as they get extra units up on us. So round 18, let's go. Round 18 against Elaine. Elaine is that one that's got 9. She's still got 9 heroes. And she's got our Wind Rangers back there that aren't upgraded, but we can see because they aren't upgraded, we're just walking through them. The Heartless really paying off. They've got the reduced armor. We've got the increased armor and lots of damage. So we're continuing to do very well against an opponent that isn't playing very smartly. So remember, when I took this, I took easy because I wanted to be able to show you guys more about the game and building your side here. All right, so there's a unit that I want to get into play. I mentioned to start working on our healing. So it's a Necrophos. And when he comes on the board, he's going to give us another Heartless, so building towards a chance at having the total of 4 Heartless, which would drop the enemy's armor by 10, really making our heroes hit harder. And, always trying to think out loud of where is that next Heartless coming from. Abaddon may be it, because if I could put both the Necrophos and Abaddon in play, there is our 2 undead. And then it still leaves us room for a Warlock. So I'm looking for another high-level Warlock. And so you start planning out here, looking to upgrade on these units. Going to go ahead and roll, see if anything good comes up. There's a chance. I mentioned there's the Alchemist that I'm looking at, and I'm going to get out of the Juggernaut. I'm not going to worry about leveling that Juggernaut anymore. I want that Alchemist. There's another chance at Axe. I don't see us leveling Axe here. There's too much of a good thing here. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to actually pass on that Axe. I'm going to spend 5 gold working us towards that level 8. So round 19, we've got 1 loss, 1 win, 1 loss against this. This was the top 2 player. He's got a ton of level 2 units, very strong. Our Pudge is taking a beating there, but that's what he's there for. Right now, hard to say what's going on. We've still got the Juggernaut doing work. Axe is keeping him off of us. Oh, that Keeper of the Light just AoE'd, beat the snot out of us. This is going to be close. That was really close. So the Keeper, that's one of the things I was talking about, area damage. You saw how he shot through there and he just eviscerated our 2 Wind Rangers. One of the nice things is if I can get this Wind Ranger updated, I'll then be able to put in that Warlocks, start putting those Warlocks in. So we have more Warlocks coming up here. Here's one that also fills the Warlock and, he's probably a better choice over the Alchemist, the Disruptor, because he starts working towards Brawny, so I could probably replace him with Axe if we can get him up in level. I'm going to go ahead and do some rolls here. We're at 62 gold. There's that Axe saying, why didn't you upgrade that Axe? Look at all the Axes we're providing you here. I'll go ahead and roll again. There's another Abaddon. I'm going to get rid of this Axe by the Abaddon, hoping that he eventually becomes one of our Heartless that we're adding to raise that Heartless buff up. We still have over 50. I'm going to be done rolling. I'm going to spend 5 gold to push that level, and we're going to go ahead and go into round 20, which is another creep round or NPC, so we'll have a chance at another item here. And like our comp, we should not have too much trouble beating this, just because our damage output is ridiculous at this point. And we clean that up really handily. We're going to get another. These don't contribute to win and loss streaks. Boy, I really feel bad about now taking that Hunter. I can only imagine what it would be like to have that Hunter's Focus stacked. We did pick up another Skull Basher. We did get another Brawny. We still have 2 Brawny units in there. And these, I'm actually going to be probably taking this Forged in Battle here. These are really strong items, but these give us additional 50 health for every kill that they've gotten. I'm hoping the Juggernaut and the Axe, since they've been with me since the beginning, have gotten lots of kills here. So I'm going to go ahead and take that now so that we have a global. And the store's been good to us. We pick up a Wind Ranger, and I can temporarily move this onto the board, purchase the Wind Ranger.
Get it done.
I bring this back. That now gives us room for another hero to put on the board. We will bring out the Necrophos here, put her smack dab in the middle. Wow, really should have upgraded that Axe, huh, guys? So I wanted to show you a little bit more about this here. So Axe has 16 kills. So now, because of the Brawny buff, he's getting 50 extra health for every kill he's had. So 600, he's added 800 health. So he wasn't particularly tough before, but he just got real tough. So people are like, how can he keep him in there? Oh, he's staying. And I'm hoping the Juggernaut looks really beefy too. Look at that kill count, 2,900 kill, and you know what? This is not reflecting their life total. So he's going to pick up an extra 800. So when he starts this fight, he's going to be 2,200 health with 29 kills. Doing the easy math, that's what 30, 1,500. He's going to pick up a little more than 1,400 health. He's going to double his health to 2,600. These guys, what a choice! What some fabulous luck there. These guys are going to be really tough. All right, so let's take a look at the store. There's another chance to keep upgrading the Wind Ranger. I've got lots, but at this point, I'm going to push my next level. And the reason I'm going to do that is because I want to get that next Heartless in play, because I was one away from Heartless. So I'm going to get this Abaddon in play. Even though he's only 1 star, he is a 3-tier. He brings in the Night Alliance, which we'll probably never use, but he does bring in that next level of Heartless, meaning that I'm going to start hitting harder and harder. With the addition of Necrophos, who does healing, his ability sends out a pulse that you can see there that deals 100 damage and heals friendlies for 100, and it's a pretty fast cooldown with only 5 seconds, and he's just going to do some damage. I fully expect to see us just smashing with this loadout. Wow, we get Ellen again, bottom tier. Just unfortunate for Ellen, because we are probably just going to obliterate her now. It's just going to be ugly. And yeah, just just obliterated. Lane has no chance against this lineup, which has really come together. This is coming together very well. At round 21, we are super strong. It was worth to me giving up that 1 interest point that we gave up. We're still rolling at 12 gold. That win streak is back. We're back, guys, with a win streak of 5, so I can still win 3 more times getting that gold and picking up on that gold. The store didn't bring us anything interesting, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to roll a couple of times here, hoping to pick up another Abaddon. We get that 3-star Pudge. We are shifting into God mode. I'm going to go ahead and roll one more time because I don't think we're pushing that level 9 quite yet. Still didn't get it. Dragonite could be interesting because if I can put him into play, he can leverage the night bonus that comes off of Abaddon, although I really don't see him. I mean, if we put another, our 9th hero really should be another Warlock, which will be this guy over here. We can make it, which is going to be the Disruptor. So we're going to go ahead and start the next round. We're rolling here, guys. Round 22, going into Rebecca. Rebecca is currently in 3rd place, but I can already tell she hasn't got enough upgrading units. She's got a Disruptor and a level 2. So the one thing here we have a little bit of healing now with that Necrophos. And so now, which has probably really paid off here. So I'll be curious to take a look at the healing that was done. Necrophos was able to heal the team for an additional 500 points, which helped make the difference. The opponent's been doing some healing, but again, where we're wreaking is damage. That Wind Ranger, look at 3,000 just carrying. Wow, there's another a chance at an upgrade for the Medusa. Of course we're going to take that. And the Wind Ranger, of course we're going to take that. And we're going to do maybe 2 rolls here. Again, we'd love to see that Pudge come. Wow, we've just been very fortunate here. Getting to be some hard times. He's going to have to get upgraded. The Disruptor is the perfect. You know what? We're going to give up on the 3-star Drow. She's still just 3 away. But
I like the way you think.
The chance that Wind Ranger gets upgraded is probably smaller. But we're going to go ahead and take a chance. We're going to take another roll here. There's what we were hoping for. That's our 3rd Abaddon. Again, we've got 2 in play. Big rolls here. We picked up the Necrophos. Another chance there. Again, I don't mind sacrificing a point of interest at this point. We're still so strong. We're just annihilating the other players. We can cost ourselves the interest and just keep that train rolling. Up against another Tyrol again. Lots of heroes on the board, but they're all 1 stars. We're not seeing a lot of 3 and 4 stars, and we're really going to just look to see our damage carry us through here. Wind Ranger, Necrophile. Look at this, just smashing. Just went right through Tyrol. Tyrol's getting there towards the end, but just smashed him. This is getting to be the feel-good game. Lots of gold rolling in, 14 around. Wind Ranger updates again. defying all odds. There's that Drow. Wouldn't have been the upgrade, but would have been one step closer. The Juggernaut, not worried about it. I'm not too much worried about level because that really I should be spending money towards level here. That's what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to buy 10 gold, which is 8 experience points, to start pushing that next level. I think we've got enough, our board's strong enough right now to really carry us quite a bit. So running into Miguel. Miguel is really too close to the bottom. We haven't done a lot against him. He's got the upgraded Medusa, Alchemist. He's got some good AoE. Our Necrophos is doing work here. We're getting some heals. We're about to get another big heal off here. This opponent's done as well as any, but we're just smashing through them. A big part of that is the hunters do a lot of extra damage. We've got our Brawnies are now super tough because of the Brawny buff. We're now onto a creep round here, so there's no rush to do anything with the gold. There's that Drow just taunting me. That would have been our second Drow. One more Drow, we would have had a level 3 Drow. Am I regretting that over not having the Wind Ranger? It might very well be. So don't need to worry about the round. So this round, I'm actually just going to spend all 15 gold, 3 gold to really start pushing for that level 9. One of the things we're asking is what happens with level 9, what goes in? What's going in is this Warlock to give us some more healing. And here we are at another creep round. So this is these 25 and 30 are pretty tough. I will definitely usually lose multiple units here because these guys are pretty tough. Although I appear to be wrecking them pretty good. Yeah, looks like we did really solid there. Be really nice where we've got some really cheap upgrades. We get 1 Pudge, we get 1 Necrophos, we get 1 Lich. Medusa, and we are just really upgrading. Oh my goodness, I can't believe it. There would have been 3 hunters stacked. This would be over. I would be totally annihilating the team. It's telling me to take the hunter focus, so I'm going to go ahead and take the hunter. Wow. Here comes the board, gang. We just got our big Pudge upgrade. Boom. Nice, sexy 3-star Pudge. He was tanky before. He's ridiculously tanky now, folks. Let's take a quick look at him. He's got 5,500 health just by himself. He don't need nothing, and my front line is strong as all get out because of this buff we're not seeing here, adding like almost more than doubling the Juggernaut and adding like another 60% there. All right, going back to the store, I'm going to go ahead and roll 1 time because that's going to let me do the level. There would have been the level 3 Drow. We would have been walking on sunshine. Still, luckily we don't need enough. I'm going to spend 5 gold on level, so next level we'll have 9 units in. And here we are at round 26 combat, running into Grace. Grace, middle of the pack. She's got a couple upgraded units. She's got a level tier 5 Tidehunter in there, but the Tidehunter got smashed. Didn't go anywhere. I don't know how much of that is from there. Just get their Kunkka gets a stun off, but way too late. Just having some horrendous victories here. They're losing so much health when they lose to me. We're starting to knock out, so we can see over here now that Tyrell and Ellen are out of the game. They've hit less than 100. There's that Drow just taunting me, just saying, you know what, you really should have not sold me. The Drow would have just been OP as heck here. And one thing, talking about positioning, is I need to get my Drow a little more centrally aligned because she needs to be buffing more units. I want everyone kind of centered around that Drow because she's enhancing all their fire speed. So I probably could have done a little bit better with my placement earlier. Again, I'm keeping these units tucked in so that they're engaging the front line quite a bit. Man, this is just turning out to be a fantastic match. I'm going to go ahead and level once. Right now, the Disruptor's going to come in. He'll fill in the back line. Again, he adds the Warlock, basically, now himself and the other Warlock. Who are those Warlocks? Remember, click on this. So my Necrophos and the Disruptor, they're going to do extra healing. Anytime their ability goes off, they link to another hero. And then the damage that they themselves or the other hero that they link to is put on there. So it brings some extra healing in as well. Plus his ability is, he has the ability to completely silence the other team. It's pretty vicious. I'll try to point it out if it happens. So we're here at 57. We level 10 certainly is within reach. We certainly don't need it. So now I'm going to be looking to rolling upgrades because we're so close to upgrading our Necrophos or Medusa. I'm going to go ahead and roll. Nothing there that I'm going to take. Sure, you can make it a cause to go for the Juggernaut. I think we're just smashing our opponents here. Here's another big upgrade for number 10. if I take this Tide Hunter here, if you looked at the store, he's going to complete the scale bonus, which would give me 30% magic resistance, which basically most abilities are magic. So all my units take 30% less damage, so just continue to crush. So that's a real good reason to get him out. Right now, plus he has this massive AoE stun, and you know what? I think that's where we're going with this. We're going to temporarily, I don't think we need the healing. We're doing so well. I'm going to pull the Disruptor out temporarily because I want him to come in, because now we immediately get the damage reduction. He's a hunter, so he's getting all the benefits of this ability, plus the global that we have. Much better, the Hunter's global, so much better choice than having just the Disruptor out there. He's got a great silence, but we're rolling so hard right now. We're just going to keep going, guys. So round 27 combat against Miguel. Miguel's on the bottom. Miguel's probably about to get knocked out here, although he does have a level 2 Necrophos and a level 2 Medusa. So they're doing well there, but hoping to see that Tide Hunter. You're going to see his big stun if he ever wakes up. It looks like he took a nap. There it is. The big stun stuns everyone that was around him. We continue to do lots of damage. Miguel had not a shabby lineup, but boy, just so much damage coming in here. Look at that Wind Ranger now that she's level 2 with that item. Just smacking people around. 4,700 damage. Just checking to see where I like the item placement. I do. I'll probably take the item off of her and put it on the Medusa if we could update the Medusa. There's another Wind Ranger. One more Wind Ranger. Excuse me. We need 2 more Wind Rangers. We're in business there. I'm going to go ahead and roll one more time. Didn't pick anything up. I'm going to roll again. Again, there's the Necrophos. Huge update. He just basically became a lot nastier. And we're going to go ahead and move everybody over into the middle and just continue to wreck face here. Boy, gang, this turns out to be a heck of a bot. Now, again, this was on easy, so the bots aren't making the best choices. But wanted to show you, this gives me a chance to show you all these combinations and how they start adding up as you get later and later and later into the game. Rakunka gets the big stun off. My Tide Hunter wanders off over here to the side. They use his ability really inefficiently, but fortunately we've got such a wreck face team, and the bots on the easy level don't do a lot of intelligent stuff. That just is helping us steamroll here. All right, we're getting ready to go into round 29. Again, on that gravy train. All right, round 29, going in for the big rolls. We've done our rolls here, and I think we're good. And we're just going to go ahead and go into that round. Fighting against the number 2 player here, so this is probably our real test here of how we do. He's got an upgraded 3 unit. Tossed around here. We are taking a decent amount of damage. Hoping my Tide Hunter stun goes off. There's the stun. Their Keeper of the Light does some serious damage. Hunter's going into work though, and we mop him up pretty handily there. He's done better than others, but he's probably the biggest threat against us, and we just handled him pretty handily. So I don't think we're going to have too much trouble taking this one down. I don't think I had much doubt. Going into a creep round, no reason to spend too much gold. We've got a couple units that can upgrade. We're probably going to mostly benefit by getting to the next level. I'm going to burn all 20 of the gold I had saved into that level, and then we're going to push into the next level and drop in that Disruptor to get that last Warlock. We were able to get to 10. It's not unusual in a match for you to win by just getting to 8 and 9. 10 isn't always needed to win the game. Strong units will carry that for you. So we're moving into this creep round. We've got the big dinos, big rewards. So this will be another item for us here at some point. I expect we'll do very well against these guys. We've just got so much damage, it's ridiculous. Although you notice they are killing a number of my units off, so no problem there. So let's see what happens. I'm curious if we get another one of those Hunters globals. That was just crazy. I could have had 3 stacks. You don't always see it, and to see it 3 times is just amazing. Holy crap. I'm just going to do it because we have to do it at this point. These are a lot of interesting buffs here, good units. This one can be really powerful if the game you think is going to go longer. I think it's one of the things they have to consider on their design of the game. This comes into play so late that it's not always effective, although if you've had to spend a lot of your gold leveling or rolling, sometimes this can make a big difference. But we're going to take that Hunter's Focus, an unprecedented 4th time in one match. Wow. So now we've got that double stack just to show you what it looks like. It's here. So everybody's now doing 20%. It's just getting to be crazy. Uh, Boy, I tell you what really sent us over the top would be a couple of upgrades. And I lied to you. I said I was going to push the level. That's what I was hoping for. I'm not going to buy the other Medusa because this game's almost over, and in order to upgrade here, we'd have to find 6 more Medusas. There's only 15 tier 4 units of each kind, so there's only 15 Medusas in the game, so it makes it down. Wow, I think it's the first time we've seen a troll warlord on our board. Maybe not, but anyway, so that was a really big upgrade, along coupled with the global that has now gotten out of control. All right, so with that, we're at 52. I'm going to roll one more time because I can spend some gold after the round. Nothing looks real good there, so let's hop into round 31 here. Going up against Rebecca, the lower tier. She's done some upgrading. Her Kunkka's now level 2. Most of her heroes are number 2. She's got some level 2 heroes in there, tier 4s that are now level 2, so doing pretty good. So she's holding out. Notice how the win isn't quite so quite so quick. Another big stun on the Pleasure Cruise ship there from Kunkka, but it's not enough. Still doing a great job. I think the healing edition, can't quite tell, but look at the healing that came over there from the enemy, and look at the Necrophos did as much healing as their 2 units. That's what really kept us in the game. If I hadn't healed that, we probably would have lost. So, the importance of having at least 1 healing unit. This Necrophos unit is definitely one of the best in the game. At 63 gold, I'm going to push 2 into the level. That definitely going to level 10 next level. This leaves us enough where I can roll 1 time. Not looking like anything I'm going to buy. We're going to go ahead and play again. Going into Tristov. Tristov, can't tell if he's done many upgrades or not, but he's got mostly 2 stars. That Keeper is the one thing I was scared of. Keeper gets a shot off. My axe, yeah, it's all over, folks. So, yep. He went down fast. And part of that's due to the placement. That Tidekeeper's earning his keep. The fact that he's benefiting from all the hunter stuff is ridiculous as well. Just crazy. Round 33. Store brings us a detonator. A disruptor. And we're going to go and take him because I'm hoping he'll be our 10th unit. We're going to push once, twice. There's our level. Here's our 10th unit. Put it out. So now we've got 2 warlocks. Now it brings in that nice warlock buff. So now I'm getting even more healing. Right now, I think we've pretty much got these guys over the barrel. I'm going to go ahead and play it. Going into Rebecca. Rebecca, I suspect this is your last round. Unless she starts coming up. So look at that big silence there. See all those little smiley faces? I was just silenced, like you wouldn't believe. A big stun, but not enough. She's got the disruptor, which is the unit I just put out that is capable of doing area damage and a big silence. And she had the silence going on there, hardcore. But luckily enough, I was able to get through it. Let's take a quick look at the stats. Healing, look, Necrophos with a big heal. And taking a quick look at the damage, sorry. Looking at the damage here, Medusa, 5,500 damage. Just doing work. So we're here at level 10. So right now, basically, all I'm looking for are upgrades. And there's our level 2 disruptor. Wow, this is OP. Huge upgrade to the disruptor was there. Massive update to Tidehunter 2. This next win is probably going to be just beyond brutal. Definitely the right call to make here. We still could upgrade to Wind Ranger, but not necessary. We're just going to go ahead and start playing. Rebecca's just going to get munched here. That Tidehunter goes off. Tidehunter's silenced. The Tidehunter just takes a stroll, and he's going to run in the back and burn his ultimate in the back, I bet, here. Maybe not. Yeah, like, what was he doing? Who did he think he was stunning? Sometimes this game is still in beta release, folks, so every once in a while you see weird things, but that was really unfortunate. I'm going to move the Tide over and make him a little more front and center. There we go. All right, so all I've got left is gold for rolling. So I'm going to keep rolling, hoping to get pretty much the only upgrade I'm really looking for is the Wind Ranger here, or maybe another Tier 5 unit that I'm not thinking of. So, Tidehunter. I'm going to do it. I've never had a Tidehunter 3 because there's so few. When you have Tier 5, there's actually only 10 of them, and you need 9. You need to be able to purchase 9. Now, when other players drop off the board, if they had them on their boards or benches, they're returned to the pool, but it'd just be funny to get that. Oh, my goodness. It's happening. No, we're still a long ways away, and I don't think Rebecca's going to last another round. So let's put her down here, and we go into round 35 creep round. So yeah, a lot of the other big games go round 35 is pretty typical to see the game go. There's the big stun. Yep, that didn't take long. So this will be our first crack, I believe, at a Tier 5 item. And Tier 5 items are just amazing. We didn't get one. I think we had a chance. We didn't get one. We're left with some really good choices. This video is already going long, so I'm just going to take Daedalus, which is a huge attack weapon, adding 80% damage and a big chance to crit. That's 100% going on Medusa. I probably could have put another item. Pledge is going to be the one that sets off everyone's mana once he charges up. And we're just going to go from there. And we got Rebecca's the last sole survivor here. Don't think she's going to make it, though. Don't think she's going to make it. Look at that big silence. Every one of my heroes silenced. They're just amazing. The Kunkka with a big stun. There's the Keeper of the Light with the big AoE, but just not quite enough to do it. The damage is real, folks. Damage is real. And that should be enough. Unless, you know what? They may have Aegis. She had an Aegis. Remember that item I talked about? I'm going to hit tab here. She had an Aegis on her, so that's why she didn't get killed. She still has 10 health up here. So she had one of those that she expended. Alright, so we're back just down here to rolling. Just going to keep on rolling. Oh, just because I haven't showed it in a while, looking at, if you do get to level 10, looking at the percentage. So only a 6% chance of getting those Tier 5 units. So you could see how hard it is to get a Tier 3 unit to 3 stars. There's very few of them available in the purchasing pool, and there's not a huge high chance to get them. Although we've done really well. We've managed to get 5 of them. So we've had some good luck, but we've also had a ton of gold to roll. Now, Rebecca isn't going to last another round, so just for laughs, I think I'm just going to roll my gold away. She's got no chance to beat us. So I'm just going to roll through this. I should have grabbed the Medusa because we could have gotten some kind of crazy Medusa. I just want to try to get the Tidehunter. I don't think it's very likely to happen, but each of these bays, there's an Enigma, which is another awesome upgrade. Easily could swap him out for the Disruptor. I'm just curious to see if we can actually get a Tidehunter 3 on the board. That would be fun. Of course, you wouldn't be doing this in the game, so this is bad. I'm rolling, trying to get a 3 that I don't need, and just rolling all my money away. All money gone. Alright. Well, we can live the dream. We got close. We got 5 out of the 9 we needed. So that Disruptor's in a great place, but man, this one isn't even going to be close this time. Just getting wrecked here. Just getting wrecked. Alright, that should be it. I think she had the Aegis, so that should be the only thing she could have gone against. So at the end of each map, you're going to get a quick recap, and it's going to show the final loadout you had. This is a great time to hit that F12 if you're playing in Steam, and get that screenshot at the end of just what a real strong lineup. You can do some quick review here. Most games are over probably between 32 and 37. I think the lower you are in rank, the games have a tendency to go quicker, just because people don't know what they're doing and they tend to lose. They tend to lose really big. Looking at the damage dealt, that's over all the rounds, so quite a bit. A huge amount of gold earned. And then the final crew, we were rolling there at the end with 6 alliances. Just to recap, the Scale Alliance, which gave us the plus 30% magic resist. The Brawny, which gave the 2 Brawny units an extra 200 HP. The Heartless, which was stripping our enemy of 10 armor points each. The Hunter's bonus, which was giving all of our Hunters a chance to do multiple extra attacks. The Warlock came in towards the later end of the game and gave both our Warlocks additional heals in addition to what their normal powers were. So it helped us deal with opponents that had area damage. And then Warrior, we had that since the very beginning. All of our Warriors gaining that extra armor just to make them tough. So a really solid game against bots. Now, again, the bots were uneasy, so it's not like I'm some genius. Our opponents didn't do a lot to get in our way and could have done upgrades differently and what have you. Hey everybody, welcome to the end of the video. We hope today's walkthrough was helpful, informative, and you had a little fun along the way. Help support us by, mashing that like button and subscribing to the channel. Please leave comments down below on what you thought about the video. What did you like? What didn't you like? What would you like to see in the future? And we'll take that into account. With that, everyone, farewell and good gaming.